Are you aware of the new Corporate Transparency Act? Did you know that every person who owns an LLC is now required to disclose that ownership? It's a new law. It was passed without any press. I got to interview one of my good friends and personal attorney, Sean Walker from API Law Firm. He breaks down the need for this act, the relevancy, what you need to do to be compliant immediately in 2024. Check out this video. I hope you enjoy. I want to bring you something very urgent and important. I have my friend here, Sean, on to be able to go through something that I think is going to be very important for us at the beginning of this year, especially for all of my clients that are business owners or that have LLCs. Now, the challenge with these videos is I'm trying to make sure I'm getting relevant info to everybody. Some people don't have a business, some people do have a business. So if you don't have a business, we will cover something pertinent and important probably in next week's video. But for all my clients that have an LLC or business, I want to bring Sean on because Sean is an attorney who is part of a very prominent, great firm. And him and I are friends, but we're also colleagues and we talk. And there's something that just absolutely blew my mind that he made me aware of fairly recently because it is pretty new. So if you have an LLC, this is going to be important information. And I want to turn it over to Sean so he can explain what's happening and why the urgency and why we're trying to make this video to share it with everybody. So Sean, thanks for taking some time to talk to everyone.
Absolutely. So what's happening, you guys, is there's been a new bill that's passed, and it's actually not a new bill. It's been around since 2021, happening in the background with our legislatures and Congress and so forth, and it's called the Corporate Transparency Act. And it was started to combat terrorism because of all the overseas things that are happening in Ukraine and Israel more recently. And the problem is they've put this bill in place to combat terrorism internationally, but it's affecting small to medium-sized business owners here in the States. And so this bill makes it so everybody has to report. If you have an LLC, a C Corp, other types of entities, family limited partnerships and so forth, you have to report now to the federal government, more precisely the U.S. Treasury and their department called FinCEN, okay, Financial Crimes Network. And you have to report who is the owner slash person that controls the LLC. Okay, it sounds made up. It does. But it's very real with civil and criminal penalties if you don't report who is the what they call beneficial owner, okay, that has the controlling interest in the business. Okay. So before we start on some of the main bullet points here, guys, and we'll just keep this to a few minutes. If you have 20 or more employees or have certain types of businesses like you're in securities or things like that, you're already doing all these reporting measures anyway. It's the small to medium-sized business owners that really need to worry about this bill, okay? So the Corporate Transparency Act requires that you fill out some forms with FinCEN, which we can help you do, because they're technical and complicated, and there's updates coming out every day on number one, who the owner is, okay? If you have partners, what your address is, a form of ID, whether it's a state ID or a passport, and you have to get that to us and we can submit it to FinCEN, for example, and some things on your business. So you have to make sure your business is in compliance with your state. There's certifications you can get from your Secretary of State that now have to be submitted to FinCEN. And there's a host of other things that are concerned here as well, especially if you dissolve the business or shut one down in the past couple of years, you still have to report, okay? Some of the things that I get asked quite frequently with this almost pops right up is, well, what if I have business partners that are silent or that are just investing in my company? Do they have to report as well? Yes, okay? What if I have a business I set up for tax purposes that my kids own? Do I have to report my minor children? No, but you have to report yourself as the controlling beneficial owner and that your children are just there for tax purposes. There's a bunch of caveats, subtleties with this bill that you guys that's being released. And January 1st is the deadline to start reporting. Okay. And it's messy, but it's here and we're going to deal with it. And we've been studying this for quite some time and have set up a lot of automations and processes for our existing clients and new clients to make sure they're in compliance now with this new federal law. That's kind of the general overview, Daniel.
Sean, I got a couple things I want to ask.
Please.
Please give everybody the name of your firm and a quick 20-second background on you.
Absolutely. So we're API Law, okay? And we're based in two corporate headquarters for our national firm. one in Chandler, Arizona, and one in Orem, Utah. Okay, which is just in the Salt Lake area, and Chandler's just outside of the general Phoenix area. But we've been around for 13 years with our group of attorneys and paralegals, and our specialty is small to medium-sized businesses. Okay, so protecting your business from frivolous lawsuits, protecting the assets within the business, and making sure that they're not visible to the general public first. So we want to make you as invisible as is legally possible. Okay. And then also creating corporate veils. If there is a lawsuit that comes your way, that it would be very expensive to penetrate those corporate veils and get at your assets. Second thing we do is protect your legal person. Okay. Your legal person should be almost entirely separate from your business, so that if your legal person gets sued, they can't come and take all of your membership units from your business. Okay, so we try to create a separation. We do that with various entities, holding companies, and some advanced trust work that we can do as well for our clients. Okay, so that's our firm, and we're very seasoned at doing it.
Yes. We got introduced to a colleague in town, and they've used you guys for years, and so it's been incredible. Let me ask you a couple more questions. What if you just have an LLC you're not doing anything with? Like some people just have an LLC, they were going to start like an Etsy business, and they never get any income flowing through it or started it. What if you have one of those? And then also follow up to that, what if you have an LLC for your real estate, like rental properties? Do those need to report?
Two great questions, and yes and yes. So on the first one, we actually encourage our clients to set up LLCs that are seasoning, because seasoning can help with getting credit for that LLC. Seasoning helps with everything as far as compliance. Okay, so we have clients that have one or two LLCs sitting there seasoning, so that when they buy that new piece of real estate, they have an entity to place it in before the closing. We get a lot of clients that don't do this and rush around. We just had one that says, hey, I'm closing on this piece of real estate before the end of the year. It's in Pennsylvania. It takes about 14 days to set up an LLC in Pennsylvania right now with their backlog, but the client needs to close in 10. So we're scrambling to get a rush through. Okay. Even those that are passive, or what the IRS would call a disregarded entity, where it might be a pass-through or passive entity, those still need to report to FinCEN.
What's the penalty if they don't report? What's the severity of this, and why the urgency?
You bet. And sorry, let me go back to the real estate. I'm a real estate investor as well. I've had rental properties for over the years. If you have some separation, which we commonly recommend, of not putting all of your rental properties in one LLC, is a really bad idea. Okay, it's the worst thing you could do, actually. So if you have multiple LLCs, those all need to report to FinCEN, and we can help you do that. Sorry, Daniel, please repeat that last question.
What's the penalty, and why the urgency? Why is this such a big deal, and why are we making this video? This is
the penalties. Absolutely. And so the penalties for non-compliance, meaning non-filing in the beginning, are up to $500 a day in civil penalties. Okay. And then if ignored long enough, it's like not paying a traffic ticket. Eventually, they're going to come arrest you and put you in jail, even on something as simple as that. Okay. On this, there are also criminal penalties for noncompliance, up to 2 years in prison and up to $10,000 per violation. Now, per violation means per LLC. So if you have 5 LLCs that you don't report, the golly gee, I didn't know approach will not work with the federal investigators that are coming to look at you. And am I trying to scare our clients? Yeah, because it's a scary bill.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said it got me. Like I didn't not comply with it. I mean, it got me in the sense it got me to wake up and realize like this is very urgent and serious, and we need to take some time to create a video around this for anybody that owns an LLC. So that's what got me like aware of what's happening. So we all need to jump on this and make sure we're compliant and everybody's okay for next year. We don't want anybody to have any issues. So I'm grateful to Sean and his firm for being proactive, developing the systems and software to make it easy for businesses to report. Because I think, just like me, Sean, I mean, I think a month ago, I didn't even know this was happening. Not even a month. We talked about this like 2 weeks ago. So for me, it was like, we got this update from your firm, which is why we network with attorneys and CPAs and different professionals so we can be aware of different legislation. And this one's important. So how do people reach you if you have a business owner who's like, I don't know how to do this or figure it out, I don't have time, or I'm worried about it, I want someone to professionally do it or whatever, what's the easiest way for them to reach out to you to use your firm, and what does that service cost?
Yes. So you can go to www.api.law and it's a different designation for law firm. So it's not .com, it's .law. So www.api.law. Our contact information is at the bottom of any of our web pages, and our receptionist can guide you to our paralegal team and to myself with any questions about the Corporate Transparency Act. We, for small businesses under 5 people, okay, we're going to be doing this for $75. We'll file for you for $75 per LLC, okay? Now, there are some complications, so we've got kind of a tier. If you've got a lot of partners, if you've got some things that are a special needs scenario and you might need some more counseling, we can talk about that. But we would just love to, earn your business on just getting you filed with FinCEN. And then if there's anything else that you need that might be a little bit more complicated, you can talk for free to my paralegal team about those issues or matters you might have. Normally paralegals bill out at about $90 an hour. But for Daniel, any of your clients, I'm happy to have them call in. They can get on our paralegals calendars and ask any more detailed questions that they have, and there won't be a charge for that.
That's huge, by the way. I really appreciate that. We all
Yeah.
appreciate that, Sean, because everybody who's watching this who works with attorneys knows. And I have friends that are attorneys. I love attorneys who work with. It's just it can add up.
You can talk about the sports scores, and this happened to me before. I was employed in this industry and setting up my first LLC. I did it through an attorney, and we literally are talking about kids, sports, things like that. And then he says to me 20 minutes into the call, Sean, you realize that, I just want to let you know this is all part of billable time. And I said, and I said this to him, I said, starting right now, yes, that's true. We had a little debate for 30 seconds and I won, but yes. So you won't get a bill for a free consult.
Good, good. Thank you for making that available. We'll put the link in the video to message in this video. And then just so everyone knows, like, do your own due diligence. If you have attorneys already, check with your attorneys, make sure that you're comfortable and you know what to do and you're prepared. I can just tell you, for me, I'm personally going to use Sean and his firm to just get mine compliant right away. And so that way, I'm protected. And, I just want to make sure everyone's at least aware of this and has at least a resource to evaluate, check, and do your own homework and your own interviews. But I'm going to be using Sean to help with mine. And so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to check out Sean's information and reach out to his team. That's a great service. Thanks for offering that to everybody. And Sean, thanks for making the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right. Have a great day. We'll see you all soon. If you guys have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. I have very limited knowledge about this. This is outside of my scope of really expertise. That's why I'm bringing in Sean. So if you have any questions about this, please reach out to Sean and his team directly. If you need me for anything else, please give me a call. Hope to see you all soon. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. If you like more videos about things like this, please feel free to click on this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.